What's going on, Sports Wars? This is Ryan with the RK Outpost and GeeksGamers.com, and Antonio Brown has finally broken his silence about the drama that occurred on the sidelines during the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' comeback victory over the New York Jets, when Antonio Brown had a complete meltdown, tore his jersey off, threw it on the ground at the sidelines, ripped his shirt off, ripped his gloves off, threw him into the stands, and proceeded to do jumping jacks and skip across the field as the game was still going on. After the game, Bruce Arians said he's no longer a Buck. Tom Brady spoke at length about it in the press conference. But now, over the past few days, Antonio Brown has not been released, and a lot of us are asking the question, what is going on? Well, Antonio Brown has officially, through his attorney, put out his side of the story. Here's the headline: Antonio Brown, Buccaneers forced me to play injured and tried to cover it up. Boy, oh boy, it just keeps getting more and more juicy. And Adam Schefter does have these statements out here. We're going to read the entirety of it because I think it's important we read the entire thing. But this is one of the highlights. Antonio Brown accused the Bucs of engaging in an ongoing cover-up. He said an MRI of his ankle shows broken bone fragments stuck in my ankle, the ligament torn from the bone, and cartilage loss, which are beyond painful. And he says once his surgery is complete, he's going to be back to 100% and looking forward to next season. Business going to be booming. And when it comes to Antonio Brown as a person, a lot of us are inherently skeptical about anything he says, and you can't really blame anyone for doing that and being that way, because Antonio Brown has had meltdown after meltdown, both in the NFL and in his private life. This is not a new thing. It's a regular occurrence, especially over the last 5 years with this man. But this is what he's putting out there. Let's read it and kind of bounce it off other things that we've seen and give our opinions here. First of all, and of course, this is via his attorney, right? Antonio Brown ain't writing this, that's for damn sure. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to the Bucs, fans, and my teammates. The Bucs helped me return to my productive football after I had difficulties that could have ended my career. We worked together to resolve those difficulties. I will always appreciate that, being part of a Super Bowl champion team, and then a contender's a dream come true. I make mistakes. I'm working on myself, and I have positive influences around me. But one thing I don't do is shy away from playing hard on the field. No one can accuse me of not giving it my all every play. If you're talking about when he's actually on the field, I agree. Antonio Brown does play very hard. We have seen random instances where he's like, I'm not going to play with this random helmet. I'm not going to do this. I don't want to play. We saw that in Pittsburgh quite often. Of course, then he forced his way out of the Raiders. With that being said, let's continue on. Because of my commitment to the game, I relented to pressure directly from my coach to play injured. He's talking about Bruce Arians here. Despite the pain, I suited up. The staff injected me with what I now know was a powerful and sometimes dangerous painkiller the NFLPA is warned against using, and I gave it my all for the team. Didn't name it in here. Very interesting. I played until it was clear I could not use my ankle to safely perform my playing responsibilities. On top of that, the pain was extreme. I took a seat on the sideline. My coach came up to me very upset and shouted, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?" I told him it's my ankle, but he knew that. It was well documented, and we discussed it. He then ordered me to get on the field. I said, "Coach, I can't." He didn't call for medical attention. Instead, he shouted at me, "You're done," while he ran a finger across his throat. Coach was telling me if I didn't play hurt, then I was done with the Bucs. Besides all of the other cameras that are filming at all times, whether it's for NFL Films, for the broadcast, whatever it may be, there has to be somebody with a cell phone, whatever. There has to be footage of Bruce Arians supposedly drawing his finger across his throat like that. Has to be. But that's what Antonio Brown is saying. I didn't quit. I was cut. I didn't walk away from my brothers. I was thrown out. Being fired from the sideline for having a painful injury was bad enough. Then came their spin. Remember, we've watched this video a million times. Like, Cameron Brate tries to calm him down. Mike Evans is trying to calm him down and, talking to him. So I don't know exactly why that would happen if it's being described, or if it happened the way that Antonio Brown's describing it. Coach denied on national television that he knew about my ankle. That's 100% inaccurate. Not only did he know I missed several games, he and I exchanged texts days before the game when he clearly acknowledged my injury. He obviously knew I was on the injury list, and the GM acknowledged after the game in text messages to my camp that I did tell Coach about my ankle pain on Sunday. Now, We know that he had an ankle injury. Obviously, he was being held out. He served a suspension while he's still recovering from his ankle injury. He played last Sunday, had 11 catches, 110 yards, a massive game. Like, I think 11 catches, maybe 10 catches. And then he looked very good in this game as well. Now, that doesn't mean that he wasn't in pain. That doesn't mean that it didn't hurt, but it has to be noted. He played incredibly well in this game. Now, something that somebody pointed out, this is obviously Photoshop, but someone said, if he was hurt, why did he do jumping jacks on his way out of the stadium with a bum ankle? Antonio Brown has just described a situation where he was in intense pain, extreme pain. That's what he said, his words. He then decided to jog off the field, not run, jog off the field, and literally start skipping across the field with a big smile on his face, pumping the crowd up. So I find it a little bit difficult to believe parts of this. I don't think this is the whole truth, and that's obviously why the lawyer is putting it out. I know we were losing to the Jets, and that was frustrating for all of us, but I couldn't make football plays on that ankle. Yes, I walked off the field, but there's a major difference between launching from the line and taking hits compared to jogging off the field with a rush of emotions going through your mind. I'm reflecting on my reaction, but there was a trigger. The trigger was someone telling me I'm not allowed to feel pain. I acknowledge my past, but my past does not make me a second-class citizen. My past does not forfeit my right to be heard when I am in pain. Totally agree with that. And when this first came out, I did say, if there's something about this, the NFL is going to have to do an investigation when it comes to this ankle, when it comes to this pain. What did they do? What did the doctors do? And what was Antonio Brown saying this entire time? First, they cut me. Now they cage me. Instead of asking how I felt or getting to the bottom of it, the team texts my camp promoting a totally false narrative that I randomly acted out without any explanation. They even told us in writing, don't spin this any other way. I have stress. I have things I need to work on. But the worst part of this has been the Bucs' repeated effort to portray this as a random outburst. They're telling people that first I walked off, then I was cut. No. I was cut first, then I went home. They threw me out like an animal, and I refused to wear their brand on my body, so I took my jersey off. It's part of their ongoing cover-up. They're acting like I wasn't cut and now demanding that I see a doctor of their choice to examine my ankle. What they do not know until now is that on Monday, I had an urgent MRI. It shows broken bone fragments stuck in my ankle, the ligament torn from the bone, cartilage lost beyond painful. You can see the bone bulging from the outside, but that must and can be repaired. MRI has been read by 2 top orthopedic surgeons, including Dr. Martin O'Malley. So he's saying these are the receipts. These are the people that did this MRI. Not only is my foot incredibly hurt, but there's bone fragments, there's a torn ligament, all of these things. That's what Antonio Brown is saying. I've already scheduled surgery, but the Bucs ordered me under penalty of discipline with a few hours notice to show up to a more junior doctor for another opinion. What a joke. They're playing like I wasn't cut, giving me surprise attack order to show up with another doctor with no reasonable notice, and setting this whole thing up as a basis to cut me because what they did on Sunday was not legitimate. Sorry, GM. Already received confirming opinion from top doc hospital you order me to go to. I love the Bucs fans. I do. I love my teammates and everyone who showed grace and believed in me. I gave the Bucs everything I had to on the field. What the organization is doing now needs to get cleaned up. I do not understand how people publicly claiming to be concerned about mental health can do these things in private. Once my surgery is complete, I'll be back to 100%. Looking forward to next season. Business gonna be booming. Now, the question is what do we believe about this? Even though I don't believe some of Antonio Brown's story, the fact that he did name drop some of these doctors in that hospital, the fact that it is released from his attorney, that lends me to believe that there's some truth about his injury and the extent of his injury. How everything has played out has been very strange. The fact that Bruce Arians said he's done as a Buck, yet they've not cut him. Now, is that because they want to control him medically? I personally thought it had much more to do with not wanting Antonio Brown to be released and go to another team. And with all of this stuff coming out, you still have to look at the Antonio Brown meltdown, and it was indeed a meltdown. He acknowledged this in this statement from his lawyer. But at the same time, I think a lot of people are now going to be looking into the Bucs. Once a player accuses them of a cover-up and of trying to force him to play injured, there's going to be ramifications for that. There's going to be people looking into this. But how seriously will it be taken with Antonio Brown's history? That's the question. This is crazy. It just continues to get more crazy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.